So the iPhone 14 Pro Max, I've been using this for 1 year and I want to answer the question, is this still worth it and should you buy it? Starting off with design, and also keep in mind at the time of this recording, Apple actually officially unveiled their September event for the iPhone 15 series, literally earlier this morning on Tuesday, August 29th. Now, getting into design, we know an Apple iPhone design, and this is no different. It definitely feels premium in the hand, and I love the matte finish to it. I don't like how it's stainless steel on the sides because it's really glossy, but it looks like we're getting titanium this year with the iPhone 15 series. It looks like they're ditching stainless steel. Now, other than that, it has a great build to it, and I truly am a fan. This is the design of an iPhone, and when you see this, you know it's an iPhone. Everybody knows it's an iPhone, especially here in the US. Going over to the front of this display, it's great and it's vivid. Dynamic island. I don't really see any use of it. Like it was very neutral for me when it was brought into the iPhone 14 series. I don't like it. I don't hate it. It's just there. It doesn't really bother me of that sort. So overall, the build and finish I really do like. I rarely use the lightning port. I'm almost always charging it via MagSafe on a wireless charger, but that's probably going to change because it looks like we're getting USB-C with the iPhone 15 series. So do keep that in mind as well. Heading over into software and performance. The performance on this is really snappy and smooth, but iOS 16 has been super buggy, and I recently downloaded the iOS 17 beta, and that also has been pretty buggy. I've come across multiple freezes throughout that. Like, the performance of this device is great, but with the bugs included in iOS 16 and the 17 beta, it just hasn't been great. Like, just freezes at moments in time. Like last week, I was watching a video and I tried sending a photo on iMessage, and it just completely froze for like a good 20 to 25 minutes and then just turned off on its own and rebooted and restarted. It was weird. It was the first time I've experienced that, but I wanted to put that on the video and tell you guys about what I experienced. Other than that, it's good. Now you're saying, well, then don't download the iOS 17 beta. These issues have been happening before. The freezing has been happening before iOS 17 beta. Yes, I wouldn't download if you're just an average consumer, but since I'm testing the latest software and the latest tech, I typically tend to go with, and I have backups if need be. If I need to downgrade or if I have another device, I always have backups for that. So that's wrapping up with software and performance on the 14 Pro Max 1 year later. Moving on into the camera. The iPhone camera is one to rely on, especially for point and shoot. This 48 megapixel camera is definitely an upgrade from the 12 megapixel camera that its predecessors had, starting literally from the iPhone 6s up until the iPhone 13 Pro Max. But the phone is even better for video, and I think it's the perfect device to start making content on. Like, each year when a new iPhone comes out, I'm always going to recommend it to start making content on. Why? Because I actually make almost all of my main content here on YouTube, but also as well as TikTok with the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And actually here and there, I'll be using a different iPhone for my A-roll footage. So if you're looking to start making content, whether that be YouTube, Instagram Reels, TikTok, I think the iPhone is the perfect device for that. And we're getting camera upgrades with the 15 series and the 15 Pro, and specifically Pro Max, or the rumored Ultra name, the Ultra model. We're getting a periscope lens. So we're gonna get some really good upgrades with the camera, no doubt about that. That's gonna bring me over to battery life with this device. It's been good. It's been good, but definitely not as good as its predecessor. Like the 13 Pro Max for me has been insane. It was amazing battery life. With this, it's good. I'm getting about 6 hours of screen on time. It's when I turn it off and I just have it overnight, it'll kind of lose 4 to 5% more than its predecessor on standby mode. But other than that, it's been pretty good. And I'm gonna go into the settings right now, but always on display does take up definitely more battery. So if you want to conserve on battery life, then turn off always on display. The charging on this is not the fastest, and I hope Apple does add faster charging. And like I said, I only use MagSafe charging for this, but that's probably going to change with USB-C. So I'm going to go into battery and battery health and charging, and I'm still at 100%. Look, I'm at 100%, and I use this as my main iPhone device. Like, I have a bunch of different other iPhones that I also use, but I have a SIM card in the iPhone, and I use this for iMessage groups. I use this for filming YouTube videos. I use this for filming TikTok videos. Like, I'm using this very rigorously, and I actually believe that I use this more for making content more than my main device, which in this case is an Android device at this current moment. And I still have 100% of battery life. So the battery has been really good. Granted, my 13 Pro Max, by the time I got rid of that and I sold it, I still had 100%. So I try my best to kind of use it accordingly. But I do believe if I was just like an average consumer and I only had one device and it was the iPhone, I'd probably be less than 100%. But there it is. There's my maximum capacity of battery health. Pretty happy, really happy actually, with the results on the battery health. So yeah, that's battery life. It's been good. It could be better, and rumors are saying iPhone 15 series is going to get a bump in battery life, so I'm really excited for that. And I'm going to end things off with the price. So the current price, $1099 for 128 gigs for the Pro Max model. And while that's expensive, it's going to be getting more expensive. According to rumors, $100 to $200 more expensive, so $11 or $12.99. S23 Ultra is $11.99 base model, so it does kind of line up price-wise because it's main competitor, especially here in the US. Outside the US, I don't believe there's going to be huge price hikes because they've already seen those price hikes. It looks like US is going to be getting it this year. Granted, the rumor is they're going to drop 128 gigs and make 256 gigs the base storage, so they're still going to try to justify the price hike. It's still an expensive phone. But personally, I still wouldn't recommend picking up the 128 gig model if you go with the 14 Pro Max. I have right here the 256 gigs, and that's mainly because I use it to record videos and make content. And if that's you, 256 gigs at the very least should be your choice. My final thoughts, and to answer the question. So I love the iPhone, but the software experience this past year has been subpar. But I'm super excited for the iPhone 15 series, specifically the iPhone 15 Pro or the Ultra, like the biggest model. And I want to try out the battery life. If they're rumored battery capacity increase and the efficiency with iOS 17 and the A17 Bionic chipset, if they can fix those bugs in the iOS 17 software with A17 Bionic chipset and the physical larger battery capacity, that will be an amazing phone with amazing battery life. But like I said, I'm super excited for the iPhone 15 series. But to answer the question, I wouldn't recommend to picking up this phone right now, especially right now. If you're looking forward to upgrades in the battery department, upgrades in the camera department, upgrades in maybe color, USB-C, thinner bezel all around, just overall upgrades in pretty much every single department, wait for the iPhone 15 series, the iPhone 15 Pro Max. Maybe they might replace that Pro Max naming with iPhone 15 Ultra, but just wait for it. Don't pick this up. And yeah, I wouldn't recommend picking this up, especially right now. Do note that almost always when Apple releases their Pro models, they will stop selling the previous Pros. Like right now they have the Pro, 14 Pro and Pro Max, but they're not selling the 13 Pro and Pro Max unless it's like Apple refurbished. They're not selling them brand new. Do keep that in mind as well, but I personally would recommend to hold off and wait to pick up the iPhone 15 Pro series. So yeah, 1 year later, it's a great device, but hopefully with the upgrades with iPhone 15, it's gonna be an even better device this year. This is like the successor. You get what I'm saying? But that's really it from me. My thoughts on 14 Pro Max 1 year later. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to smash that like button, comment down below, and best of all, share this video because it really does help out the channel a lot and will help push my content out to more people. And also be sure to check out my latest wallpaper pack. It's called Jello. I'll be leaving a link in the description down below if you do want to take a look and support the channel, as well as my merchandise right here. This is my desk mat. I have things like pillows. I have sweatshirts, t-shirts, sweaters, pillows, you name it, we got it on the merch store. And all of that does help the channel out as well. That's been it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.